Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna stick around tomorrow. My band and I really want to see the Foo Fighters, so we're gonna go try to see them.
Is it possible for you to tell me any hints about your set label?
About my set?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, kind of everything you'd expect to be on it. I don't really keep my sets very secret because at this point in my career there's not much speculation about what could possibly be on it. But yeah.
So like you mentioned, you're originally from the UK. Can you explain to me what it's like for an artist to cross the pond, so to speak, and break into the American scene?
I've been very fortunate in that I seem to just have a really wonderful, solid listenership. Like in the US, I think part of that is to do with social media's role that it now plays and has done in my music. And it is very strange coming over here to play festivals and gigs for the first time. It's obviously an entirely different culture, but I'm looking forward to it.
Can you explain a bit about that culture, like the difference between the UK and America?
Oh my god, I think George, my bassist, and I were talking about this in the car on the way here. Like festivals over in England, they're very grotty, they're very rainy, they're very muddy. People kind of, I don't know if they're more dangerous there or something, but because I've never been to an American one before, but it seems nice here. I'm looking forward to learning more about the difference.
So is this your first American festival?
Yeah, I've never been to an American festival before, so I don't truly know the difference, but yeah.
So I just want to say, obviously, congratulations on Labor, the success of Labor. You know, it's on the digital sales charts, the alternative charts. It's charting back in your home country. Mm-hmm. So did you ever expect it to like blow up in the way that it has?
No, I mean, there's no way anyone could expect something to blow up in the way that did. And I don't no one would have felt prepared for it, and I certainly didn't. But was really grateful for it. It just has been so huge. In a way that I'm so thankful for to my listeners, and really emotional about, actually, because of the personal way in which that song has resonated with people. That I mean, you can hope for as like an artist, but you certainly don't expect it. Yeah.
So could you tell me?
It's on real fast. Got a little wind.
No worries.
So could you tell me a little bit of the story behind the creation of Labor and the story how that song came to be? Because like you said, it is deeply personal, and I was wondering if you could just share that experience.
I think that song is definitely like born out of a long, slow burn of a collective frustration that not only I was feeling, but also I was observing in the lives of all the women around me. And you know, I'm 23. I'm not married, and but it's something that I am so conscious of and thinking of, like my future. That what I discuss in Labor is a heavy weight that rests over all of my relationships, and hangs like a cloud over future relationships that I might have, you know. And in that way, I think like people resonated with it to like really different degrees, and the song is just so much bigger than me now, which I think is the highest honor as a singer-songwriter.
So along with all the great and beautiful message behind the song, there also is a little bit of controversy on TikTok that I saw you kind of respond to about the way that you said capillaries. Mm-hmm. Would you like to like put that to rest?
So I noticed you said it the English way just now.
I say it that way too.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, because when I read it, I that's how I sound it out
right.
in my head. So I think that's crazy too.
Yeah, so we say it capillaries, like capillaries, as in your eyes. And I didn't know that actually in America it's pronounced capillaries. And we had recorded the song, and on the last day of producing it, I heard my manager and Justin Glasgow, both of whom are Americans, say that line, and I was like, oh my god, you pronounce it differently here. And they were like, yeah, it's probably not gonna be a problem. And then like it won't be an issue. And then it sparked all that engagement and controversy, but it was very funny.
I saw that you were responding on TikTok, and I just laughed at your response. I thought it was so funny. So the song, like you were kind of saying, it became an anthem for women of sorts. I mean, it has over 40,000 uses of the sound on TikTok, of all these women sharing their stories and their experience. So you kind of touched on it, but like all of these women relating to your music in such an intimate way, like what does that really mean for you on a personal level? Not just as an artist, but as a woman yourself on a personal level.
It is incredibly cathartic for me, and it's so healing to write music about my thoughts and my feelings and my, you know, experiences, and to have that echoed and validated to like a much deeper degree in many people. You know, many of the people who are resonating with it have incredibly profound experiences that, like, in my privileged life, I've not come across. You know what I mean? It's incredibly humbling and just so healing, really.
I think it really speaks to you as a songwriter and as an artist that you're able to relate to people who you might not have the same experience with, but you know, you made that connection, you related to them. So I just think that's amazing. But you have a new song called Yeti coming out June 30th. So
Yes.
not too far away.
No, not very
So
far.
I'm sure you're excited. Could you tell me a little bit of the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, Yeti is kind of like everything that Labour isn't about my music, which everyone loves to hear after. No, I'm joking. It's a kind of song about healing and about peace and about the moment when you realize that you're detached from a relationship that you were once so invested and intertwined in. And that could happen while you're in the relationship, or it could be like a moment of clarity after you've finished being with someone, whether romantically or platonically. I wanted it to feel like, you know, those people who make it their life's purpose to discover the Yeti or Bigfoot or something, and they track them and they follow them and they try and find proof, and it consumes their life. And I've felt like that with people I've loved, where I'm so invested in them, and I wanted it to correlate with the moment that that person stops believing in that myth anyway, and that's what kind of losing love and investment for someone feels like a lot of the time, I think.
Well, I'm really excited to hear it. I'm sure it's going to absolutely destroy my mental health, but I'm so excited to hear it. I'm so happy for you. And later this year, you have a European tour coming out, right?
Yes.
Is that your first tour or no?
My first tour?
Is it your first tour or no?
I did a little tour back in February, which was very DIY, and we just went around the UK. But it's my first Europe tour, and I think it will be on a bit of a bigger scale to that tour.
Yeah. So do you enjoy like the tour life, performing live? Like, what is it about that just?
I do. I really enjoy it. It's like I say, it's incredibly humbling meeting the people who are listening to my music, and seeing their faces at shows. And I get to tour with my wonderful band, who I love, and who love my music and believe in it as well. It's really truly something that I feel very privileged to be able to do.